Oh, hey. So today I wanted to talk about the 5 myths that a lot of people struggle with, thinking that they need to be doing this, but really in reality, you don't actually need to be doing these 5 things that a lot of people say that you need to be doing. Stick around for the 5th one because it is going to really blow your mind that you actually don't have to do this. Hi, my name's Justin Clumbal, and if you don't know me, I'm the creator of BreakingBogeys.com, where we have been transforming people's games to get to new levels of score and shooting their best scores of all time. We're going to dive into some of the myths of this game that really a lot of people think that they need to be doing, but in reality they really don't. The first one is what I was demonstrating at the beginning of this video, is lining up parallel to your target line. Some of the best players ever to play the game have not lined up parallel to their target line. Sam Snead, winner of 82 professional golf events, always aimed 40 yards right of his target. Lee Trevino, one of the best players ever to game. Some people say he owned his swing more than anybody who ever played the game, aimed 40 yards left of his target. So lining up parallel to your target line is not necessarily needed to be able to be a successful golfer, particularly if you're somebody who's trying to promote more of a draw in their swing and trying to get rid of their slice. I encourage a lot of my students to aim actually a lot more right of their target than they actually need to. I've also had the opposite. I've had a lot of people who have tried to get rid of their hook or try to stop hooking the ball or missing to the left. I've had them aim quite a bit left of their target. So depending on what you're working on in your game, sometimes aiming parallel to your target line is not actually what you want to be doing. Myth number 2 that I want to talk to you about is how much your hips sway in the downswing. There's been an idea for a long time that you're supposed to swing inside of a barrel, as if your hips are supposed to stay in a barrel. So as you swing back and as you swing through, your hips stay inside of a barrel and they don't sway side to side. Although I love this idea for the backswing, because I definitely don't like any swaying to the backswing where you would be busting out of a barrel in the backswing. I do love the idea of actually busting through the barrel on the downswing. So as you can see in my backswing here, I will take my club back and I do stay inside the barrel. But on the way through, I definitely do not want to stay inside the barrel because it makes me hang back into my backside. So I definitely want to feel as if as I'm coming down, I am busting my hip through this barrel to get into my left side, which then allows me to come through to a nice, great full finish. So if you've ever heard that term before, where we want to swing inside of a barrel on the backswing and the follow through, I would definitely call this a myth that we do not want to follow. We want those hips sliding through that barrel and getting that weight shift into your left side. The third myth I want to talk about is how straight your left arm is supposed to be. If you can see the best players in the world, they actually don't really have that straight of a left arm. I've seen many players that are trying to shoot their best scores of all time, thinking that they have to keep their left arm so incredibly straight. So I see this hyper extension of their left arm, really trying to keep this left arm straight as much as they possibly can. But really what we want to see in this left arm is that it's relatively straight. So as I'm taking the club back, you can see how my left arm is relatively straight, but it's not hyper extended straight. There is a little bit of give in this left arm and a little bit of relaxation. And you can actually even see at the top of my swing here that there's actually even a little bit of an angle in that left arm. We've even seen this from great players such as Angel Cabrera, Freddie Couples, who have the little bend in their arm at the top of their swing. So allowing that left arm to have a little bit of bend is actually a fantastic idea to help you play your best golf. You do not need to keep that left arm so perfectly straight. The fourth myth that I want to talk about is the position at the top of your swing. A lot of people think that your club needs to be perfectly parallel to the target line, or it has to be perfectly parallel to the ground. This is definitely a myth. We've seen great players doing all sorts of tops of backswings and having amazing results. So we've seen players at the top of their swing that are a little bit across the line. Freddie Couples being a fantastic example of this position. We've seen people at the top of their swing being very laid off, like a Jon Rahm. We've seen players that get up to the top of their swing that are short of parallel, such as a Jon Rahm again. And then we've also seen players that go past parallel, like Phil Mickelson or the classic John Daly. So sometimes stressing so much about the position you're getting in at the top of your swing is sometimes effort that's not being paid off that much because you're just not getting the results that you actually really want to get out of it. So if you're at the top of your swing and you don't have a fantastic position at the top, don't worry, some of the best players in the world do not have a great position at the top of their swing. So look at your swing on video and try to find a tour player that's maybe a little bit similar to you and realize that there is some hope for you to play some great golf if you don't have that perfect position at the top of your swing. And finally, the most important myth that everybody needs to hear is that you do not need to keep your head down. What a classic thought that so many players play with, thinking that this is going to bring them consistency and better contact, but you do not need to keep your head down. I can't tell you how many times we see players, amateur golfers, especially my students, who are swinging that are keeping their head down so significantly long, and it prevents the weight from transferring over to the left side. And here's the sad part about it, is that a lot of people think keeping their head down will help them not top the golf ball. If you'll notice here, when I'm coming in to hit this golf shot, I come in and I'm keeping my head down as much as I possibly can. And I've even seen this on video of some of my students. They'll come down really low and keep their head down, but as they come in to hit the ball, their arms pull up and they still top the ball. And the funny thing is that when they top the ball because the arms are being pulled up and their head is staying excessively down, they'll blame the top shot once again on topping the ball. How odd is that they are actually keeping their head down so excessively, but their arms are bending and topping the ball. And on top of this, actually releasing your head to the target is actually a fantastic idea. There's been great players such as Annika Sorenstam, David Duval, a fantastic PGA Tour player named Joe Durant, who all lifted their head as they hit the golf shot. So at the moment of impact, their head is looking up towards the target, which is an amazing idea because it really releases your body to turn to the target. So many players are actually restricting their turn to the target because they're trying so hard to keep their head down that they don't allow that body to completely turn through to the target. So, myth number 5, keeping your head down. You do not need to do this to be a great player. What you do need to do though is make sure that the golf club is hitting the ground, particularly out in front of the ball. So this club needs to swing back and hit the ground out in front of the golf ball. I can do that keeping my head down. I can do that lifting my head up. Try this at home. You can hit the ground out ahead of the ball whether you lift your head up or if you keep your head down, which busts this myth, the idea that you have to keep your head down to make good contact. So as long as that club is hitting the ground in front, everything else doesn't matter. And I promise you, keeping your head down is not a key to help you achieve this goal of hitting the ground out ahead of the ball. If you have not yet visited my website, breakingbogeys.com, please go to breakingbogeys.com, get on my email list. I'm sending out great drills and great practice plans to the people that are on my email list. So please join my email list at breakingbogeys.com and look through the testimonials of people who have gone through the Breaking Bogeys program. It is an unbelievable program that has changed people's games. So check out breakingbogeys.com and I can't wait to see you there.